Yeah.
And then the bus goes beep beep.
Beep beep.
Back into a pot.
Who goes there?
Oh, it's you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar.
Yeah, but then I did a pitch shift and went up for some reason. I tried to do like the next key, but I didn't. It was really awkward. It was like something going minor, but like not. It was gross. I didn't like it. Namaste.
Is there do you say something in return when somebody says namaste? Do you say back?
I think you just say namaste and then you do the bow.
Namaste.
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 Namaste right here.
Yep.
And we do our podcast.
This is our intro?
Of course. We're live.
All right.
This is it.
Cool.
Welcome, Anth0z. How you doing?
Good. How's it going, Mattbrush?
Very good. Thank you for finally calling me by my name.
I was probably saying I wasn't saying Mattbrush.
You never identified me.
I think,
And I was frustrated by it.
Do you have an identity? Is that...
Mattbrush. You just said it.
Are you sure?
But let me take this moment to have give me my soapbox for a second here. So.
Sure.
Thank you. You just told me that your name is Anth0z.
Yeah.
I was calling you Anth0z.
That happens.
I blame my Canadian accent.
Oh, so we're Canadian. There's an int.
I'm Canadian, at least. Anyways, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Did you know, good sir, that today is deemed as National Video Games Day?
I did because I read your outline.
Oh,
So
I didn't know you ever read that thing.
You printed it for a reason, so I read
Okay,
it.
it is National Video Games Day today. I think I saw a photo of Atari and like a Space Invader, and I thought that was funny.
Cool.
Because when I see that, I think, wow, that person doesn't really know video games. But at the same time, what's more iconic, Space Invader bad guy or Pac-Man?
Oh, well, if it's iconic, oh man.
What do you think is more like universally memorable?
I guess I'd have to say Pac-Man. So I would see asteroids and like variations of asteroids everywhere because they still make variations of that game, just in different kind of platforms, right?
Asteroids?
Yeah, asteroids.
Space Invaders?
Space Invaders. Did I say asteroids?
You said asteroids. Which is also an
Which is
iconic
like,
game, you're right.
Sorry, is that also a very?
That's also very iconic. The imagery from that with the doo-doo-doo. That's where it's just the geometry of the shapes coming in.
Right.
It's all the outlines.
So, well, the reason why I think Pac-Man is because they've created more personas around it, and I feel like they've marketed that to a point where at least more people would have noticed it.
You're
There's
probably
like
right.
Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, and then I'm sure they had kids like Pac Kids and Pac Safe, you know, all that kind of stuff. Sure.
You're probably right. Welcome to the Scumm Bar Podcast.
Oh, we're starting.
Yeah, we are. We have already started, and
Yeah.
we like to ramble, we like to go on tangents, and we like to forget what the heck we're talking about.
The
So,
tangent bar.
welcome to the Scumm Bar Podcast, where we talk movies, video games, pop culture, and definitely everything in between, and
Definitely.
even more than that.
Yeah.
So, we thank you for your patience. We'll be right with you.
Well,
First, the pirate joke. Anth0z, what is a pirate's favorite movie?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Could you imagine? That's the punchline? No, it's Booty and the Beast. And guess what? It's R-rated.
Really? It's R-rated.
I'll be here all night. Anth0z, what are you drinking?
I'm having what you're having.
I believe I'm joining you on this, right?
Yeah. Oh,
We haven't tried it yet. Let's clink.
We didn't cheers.
Cheers, good sir. Slayante.
Cheers. What are we having?
Ginny! Mum, have you seen my jumper? Yes, dear, it's on the cat. Sorry, it's a little inside joke to my friend that I...
bit for
That's an inside joke to my friend. I used to watch that part on AB repeat on Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets. Near the beginning, first time you see Ginny. Mommy, have you seen my jumper? It's actually not the first time you see Ginny. You see her in the first movie, but still, regardless. First real time you see Ginny.
Okay.
I think cat meant something else in Britain. But here, we didn't know what that meant. We just thought this cat had a jumper on it.
So
Funny.
the answer to your question is we're drinking Phillips.
Are we drinking Phillips? I thought we were drinking the gin.
We are having the gin.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not drinking Phillips. That's why I was saying ginny.
Where am
Because
I?
we're drinking gin and lime.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. See, my jokes, they do make sense. They do actually have a point and a center.
Okay.
That's the center, ginny.
Right.
Question of the day from last time.
Yes.
Our last week's podcast. We asked a question. Anth0z, what was the question?
The question is,
What was the question?
The question from last week's podcast was, what cool thing would you want to see happen in the Into the Spider-Verse?
Such a vague question.
I think that was the question.
Yeah. I want to first say one of the answers I got was that it's a good movie. I think that was a very
that's fair.
That was a very funny answer. I think.
I would love to see that in the movie.
Yeah. What's an answer you got?
The answer I got was I agreed to see them all. So like all the Spider-Man potential like universe characters in one scene. But this one was specific. The answer I got was to see them all in one scene, and something trippy happens. So I don't know. I don't know what that trippy thing could be. But
This is the clear moment of like Hollywood trying to come up with a script, and then like asking an average Joe on the street, average Joe, what would you like to see in Spider-Verse? What if like they're all together in one scene, and then something trippy happens, and that's what you're hoping for. So another one we go is that the Avengers. I like this answer. The Avengers show up, but as spiders. So
that would be really cool. Actually.
And I didn't clarify.
Yeah.
Like I didn't ask them if they wanted little spiders or like the Avengers characters were like half spider, half their character. Like Iron Man's got like a hairy leg coming out of his faceplate or something.
I'm actually just picturing like all of their current body types and sizes, just wearing the same Spider-Man outfit. So you're seeing
that's much better.
Like the Black Widow next to the Hulk, but both wearing that same outfit. And even like Thor, but he's got his helmet over top of the outfit.
See, while that is funny and it's a good picture, I was actually thinking their outfits as they are now tailored to look as if it's like Spider-Man-ish.
Okay.
So like I was actually just thinking Captain America there for a second. I could see like almost the Venom webbedness on his black armor from Infinity War. Ooh. That would look so badass. Ooh. But now you're talking about Captain America with the powers of Spider-Man, and that's too much power for one man.
And he's like a really bulky Spider-Man because he's just huge.
Yeah, it's true. And he's a badass. Avengers as spiders. I think that's funny. I also thought about little spiders just with the Avengers logos on them, like the different Avenger characters and all their logos on them. Black Widow would just literally be a Black Widow.
Perfect. Then it could finally happen. I'm sure everybody's always wanted to see Black Widow as a Black Widow. Like,
that would make her exponentially more cool if she could transform into a Black Widow.
Yeah, if the Avengers were also like disguised as Transformers.
They do a good job with her, hey? Like her fighting style and how it does the Black Widow stuff. Like I think it was the first Avengers. She's interrogating like a Russian dude. Yeah. And then she like spins around out of she's in a phone. She spins around out of a chair and does like some. The web. Anytime.
Okay, but you're saying that
her fighting style is
like a spider's.
Okay, yes, she's able to like she does like martial arts or something like that. I don't really know what it is, but it's usually grappling or submission or something. I'm not a fighter, so I don't know this stuff.
Sure.
But she's it's not like exactly. Her fighting style is usually grabbing somebody, wrapping around them, tripping them, or hitting them hard enough that they fall to the ground, and she's still like on them, like she's always around them, right? So it's very like. Okay, when Tobey Maguire was playing Spider-Man, it's gonna be way too much of a rant. When Tobey Maguire was playing Spider-Man, he would just fight bad guys by like punching them, knock them out, or whatever, right? Yeah. It was just a very basic superhero fighting style. When Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man, he had a way more intense physicality to the role. It was much more, in my opinion, like a spider. When he's fighting the lizard, there's a moment where he literally crawls around the lizard and is webbing him up as he's doing it. And it was so fantastic. And I was like, that is what I want to see. So much more of that, right? Yeah. And when Black Widow's fighting style is happening, I can see where the choreographer was clearly like, because she has a ballet history, I think, in her past. Not the choreographer, but Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Yeah. And I think choreographer probably is incorporating many things into the fighting style, but I'm sure at some moment they were like, let's incorporate like the physicality of as if you were a Black Widow or some sort of spider, right? I know it's just a code name, but you know, I'm sure that comes into play in some shape or form, and I feel like I see it. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm just totally out to lunch and guessing this, but I feel like I see that in her fighting style.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Actually, I wonder if that is supposed to tie into her kind of like mental warfare game, because she's also like, I don't know if she's like a master manipulator per se, but she's good at like negotiating, or isn't she good at manipulating? Isn't one of her powers like, or heightened senses in the comics is that she's like also got
But she does seem to be good at manipulating it, right? Because she can get in people's heads.
Yeah.
So was it Steve Rogers she was trying to in Civil War? Not Civil War, the Winter Soldier. And she's like she's along for the ride, and you can tell she's trying to manipulate him, and yet he's a man that you can't break. So like,
yeah.
He ended up playing more of a father figure in that movie than anything, because like she was like, oh man, I guess I can't manipulate you, right? So like then they're in that truck, and he's just like, get your feet off the dash or whatever, right? Like, it's like that's a good moment. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a dad.
Let's go back to the news. Oh, Peter Parker but no powers. That was another answer.
Wow.
Imagine Peter Parker comes in there. Oh, hey, guy. What's going on?
What is up?
We were just talking about ASMR earlier, so this is a little. This is some ASMR for you. This is ASMR in the. What is, okay, so
I don't know if
let's.
you can hear what I was doing.
Well, yours is probably much more soothing. How do you harmonize breath?
It's fun. See, it? Think of Darth Vader.
If I hit a note with my breath. You know what it kind of sounds like? Sounds like Gandalf when he's trying to get his horse. Shadow farms.
Yeah.
That's what I see. Okay, ye old news.
Ye old news.
Hey, National Video Games Day, we covered it.
Yep.
I'm playing Minecraft right now. It's a game that I've played since 2009, and I cannot put it down. You can do anything. There's no point to the game. The game is literally as big as your imagination. If you have a little imagination, you're going to get bored.
Right.
If you have big imagination, you are never going to stop playing.
Okay.
I'm somewhere in the middle. So that's why I like that game, and that's what I want to talk about on National Video Games Day. So that's
cool.
my quick little rant on that. What do you want? Do you have a game you want to talk about for National Video Games Day?
Maybe. Oh, I just got a spoiler for League of Legends because the finals just happened, and I wanted to watch it all the way through because my team was in the final.
I'm not in that competitive like sports-ish game stuff. The esports part of it, I'm just not. That's where you will have to like really educate me on that stuff. I know so little about it.
Well, nearby they're going to be making a gaming or esports stadium actually. I think this
Nearby.
is set to happen. Yeah, just south of here.
South of the border.
Just and that's going to be in 2019. So
that's tomorrow.
That's
it is soon actually for them to build a whole stadium.
Yeah, so I don't know how big they plan to make it, but I think that's kind of a cool development in terms of the kind of things that are being popularized around home. Yeah, something to look forward to. I'm assuming that they're gonna have like a giant, like it'll just be like one giant gaming center with like different sections you can play like different games per section or whatever. I mean, who's to say? But
that's interesting. Yeah. What are the big esports games right now? I know. Let me just try to. I know the international happens. That's Dota, right?
Yeah. So Dota.
What does Dota stand for?
Defense of the
Allegiance?
Allegiance? I've never played it. Defense of the Agents?
Oh,
Ancients.
Ancients.
No.
Yeah.
Ancients.
That's it's Steam though, right? It's Valve.
Defense of the Ancient.
Agents of Shield. It's a Valve game though, I think.
You know what?
Developers of Half-Life and all that.
Ooh.
I think so.
Right.
Then Dota's the big one, obviously. It's a big one.
It's a big one, yeah. League of Legends
Overwatch is huge.
Yeah,
so Overwatch is the first-person kind of aspect of the League of Legends game.
Yeah, I think like the StarCraft game still must be popular in some
StarCraft
sense.
2?
I think that must be the latest one, right?
So like 2, I was working at EB Games at that time when that came out, and 2 at that time people didn't seem to like it as much as the original. The original is like godlike, right? It's been played since late 90s.
Yeah.
But 2 at that time when it were released, the word around the street or in the store at least was that it wasn't as good as the original. But I wasn't playing it, so I'm sure if people are still playing it now, it must hold up, or they must have fixed whatever the tweaks were that they needed to 3.
That's kind of like me with the Diablo series. I think as they went on, well, I like Diablo 1 and I really like Diablo 2.
2 was good.
And I like being able to kind of head back to Diablo 1 in that one act. So Act 1, you go to Tristram. And then they even play like the old music, the guitar, like the creepy eerie.
Right, okay.
And it was such a good song, and hearing that and seeing everything there. And
video game music.
Video game music isn't what it used to be.
Really?
It is good. I don't know. I've always found.
What's one of your favorite older video game music songs then?
Okay, so the Mega Man series. Oh, I think like every game had such an epic song. Like no matter what.
Wily's Castle or whatever. That's a really good theme. Wily's theme or something.
Wily's theme.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I have that one on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
I remember hearing like a remix of one of them too, and it was just
Mega
like
Man 2 theme.
It was either Mega Man 2 or Mega Man 3. I remember it was one of the early ones, and I heard a remix, and I thought that was like the best.
I love remixes of the old school NES games or Super NES games. They were really good.
But I mean, like just how memorable those games are. I mean, like if anybody, I can ask you,
soundtrack, Bloody Tears. That is a good song. Anybody there, just search up Bloody Tears on YouTube. Listen to a piano version of it. It'll just melt your mind. I love it.
And make sure you put that it's What did you say it was for Castlevania? No, what game?
Castlevania.
Yeah, maybe
believe
put
it's
Castlevania in the search. Don't just put Bloody Tears, because I feel like that could
honestly,
come up
it's such a popular thing. You can type in Bloody Tears.
Okay.
Fine. But you're right. Castlevania, you should probably type in Castlevania as well. But that's a good song.
Okay.
Dracula has a theme as well. That's a very good one too.
Okay. Yeah. So like these were old school games. They had good themes. They were catchy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm even thinking like Mario. I mean, like if I said like the theme or just like sang it, like you'd be able to just.
Oh, you're right.
right?
Mario
so
had universal theme.
Yes.
Right. Like Mario was universally accepted as a game, just like Pac-Man. Like most people, you can go wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
People know you're talking about Pac-Man, or that was a terrible impression, but people at least think that you're talking about Pac-Man, unless they think you're a weirdo. If you go up to anybody on the street and you go wow, 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 you know, they instantly know you're a regular, sane human being talking about Pac-Man, obviously. But if you start going up and going no, they might think you're talking about Elder Scrolls when actually you're doing Halo.
Oh, that actually kind of sound like
it's just monks.
No, that was Ace Ventura.
That's righty.
Yeah, that was
you're right. Actually, it is, pretty much is that. Yeah, that's my go-to monk sound. But you're right. It probably is deeply rooted in Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura.
And he was like a temple monk at the time when he was doing that song. He was meditating, right?
You're right.
In the temple.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, here's one thing. I was playing Destiny 2 recently because it's free on PlayStation Plus, or it was. So
Street Fighter. Sorry.
Street Fighter
I was just thinking all these catchy songs. Like, there's so many songs for Street Fighter. Like,
yeah. What is Street Fighters?
Oh, I'm just thinking like each character had their own theme.
Oh.
And like they were all catchy.
Oh, you're right. Actually, there's the one guy, the green guy.
Blanca.
Yeah. Blanca's theme is popular.
Yeah, I think I always remember like Guile's and Ken's. And...
Guile's theme is popular as well. I've seen that as like a piano thing. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
That's fine. I was saying something about Destiny 2 has really good music. So while I agree with you that music these days has a larger threshold to being bad.
Well, I didn't mean it as
we also have more games these days.
Yeah.
And the bar to reach to actually put your game out on something is so much lower today than it was back in those days.
Yeah.
That I feel like people don't put as much effort into all aspects of their game.
Right. Well, I should probably rephrase. I think maybe like songs back then were just a lot more catchy, and I think it's just because they only had like a few bytes of sounds to work with, right? It was all MIDI.
Right.
And there were maybe like three different tones. But
really
it was
well done.
Yeah, for how limited it was. I mean, like I'm saying it's limited based on what the technology can offer now.
The theme was almost like included as part of the art style, right? Like back in the day, because the art style was, well, at the time that's all you had. You look back on it now and you go like, oh, like that art style was limiting. But when you add the theme into it, you go, there's a lot here. Especially if you like give yourself a good hour into an old school game, an old school meaning like early 90s. Sorry, so Destiny 2 has good music.
Okay.
And funny enough, it's Bungie as well, so I guess that's Halo, same people. But
okay.
Destiny 2, I have to say, modern game, very good music. But you're right. I could probably name a bunch if I really think about it, but you're right. I do agree with you, though. There is a lack of quality in a lot of games these days on many aspects, more than just music. And I feel like the bar, the level entry bar is very low these days. So
I think it just the direction that they were going for is totally different.
I mean, and it's not hard to search up. You search up what's people's favorite music, and you're gonna be looking at something probably in the 90s.
Yeah.
Sorry, video game music. But if you're looking at video game themes, it's almost always gonna be 90s.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. 3. Wait,
what?
Was that Mario Bros. 3?
Oh!
What song is that?
That's like open world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that 3? That is 3, right?
It is 3.
Yeah, okay. But that's the thing. That song's in your head. Like it's all there because like somebody was thinking about the music going like this is so important.
Yeah.
And
you
like
beat the level and doodly doodly doodly. Right when you jump into the giant ring at the end of each level. Yeah.
Oh my god, I could do this forever. But great music. Everybody, please, just it is video game day. I at first I kind of brushed it off, but now I'm thinking, you know what? Take a moment, listen to something, listen to a theme of something, because man, National Video Games Day. Congratulations, video games, you did it.
Congrats.
And also, I just went on Twitter and saw that it was National Video Games Day. So
thanks, Twitter. Also, I just want to note, if anybody out there is somebody who likes to put together playlists, please put together more 90s video game playlists because I have trouble finding them when I'm doing my workouts or just I want to listen to the day because like a lot of time I actually really want to listen to that music. It's so nostalgic for me. And it just
and you end up having to listen to synthwave, right? Because synthwave is so popular these days. That was the first thing of our ye old news, and we still have a lot to go through, just so you know. So let's strap our boots on, get ready. Here we're about to deep dive into a topic that you are going to teach me on because I don't know the music world at all, and you're going to teach me about this. So the very next topic.
Am I looking at the same thing?
You are.
Yeah. Wait, music? Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about like before. Oh, I get what you mean now.
I just mean I don't even know who this person is. And
I
you know so
see.
much more about this realm than I do.
I
so.
see. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next topic is just discussing about Mac Miller, and in light of the recent news that he passed away from a drug overdose. Actually, I read recently that he, or the autopsy has not 100% confirmed the cause of the death. They were speculating that the overdose kind of led to cardiac arrest, and that's what he died from. But I think they're in the midst of. I guess they, they still want to determine, what really happened, regardless of what, because nobody was there at the time. But so he was a rapper in the world, and he died at the age of 26, so quite young. I still
26?
think 26.
That's a year younger than myself at this moment, currently.
Wait, is it really? Oh
Yes,
yeah. Okay, yeah. So closer to home for you, I guess.
That's pretty young.
Makes sense.
Did he have kids or a wife or anything? Or
No, but he did. So he was, I believe at the time he was single, but a couple years. Oh no, actually back in May is when his relationship ended with Ariana Grande.
Now, who is she?
And
she
she
sounds
is-
like a medium mocha cappuccino.
No, she's a Grande cappuccino.
Isn't grande medium?
I don't know.
It goes tall, grande, venti.
I go to Starbucks and I ask for a small tea because I don't
I don't even go.
I don't-
I'm so mad that they make me memorize these other words.
I know. I don't want to do it either. I just say like, hey, what size is that? Like, is that the small or medium one? I'll just take
That's
that.
the
please.
reasonable thing to do.
So anyway, so they were actually dating for a while. They had a couple. I think they had a couple collaborations. So he's a rapper. Ariana Grande is a pop singer.
Okay.
I think maybe they did one collab, and then she was dating somebody, and then after that she came together again with him, did another collab, and then I think they started dating for a while. I think they actually dated for about 2 years. So I'd say that and from what I've heard, that seems like a pretty serious relationship. And they were saying that I think 2 weeks or so after after they had broken up, he actually got in a car accident, and he was charged for DUI. So I think they were kind of attributing just like his mental state of being in a mess to being going through that breakup. It seemed like it was kind of harsh.
Makes sense. I think personally that when a guy is really upset about a past relationship, I believe it's usually regret. It's usually regret for not trying harder to keep it alive.
Oh, I see.
It's that I could be wrong. I'm speaking either from experience or from talking to other people that have gone through similar situations. And I think usually when you're feeling distraught or when you're feeling like everything is down from that relationship, it's because you could have done better. You could have tried harder, and you're down on yourself more than anything. So you're self-abusing. I
think that definitely could be the case. I mean, I actually don't know enough history about him before and after.
Right, I don't know
his relationship with Ariana Grande because, I mean, I think he was, if I read correctly, he was also struggling with depression a little bit, or maybe it just had to do with just strictly this was addiction to drugs. But either way, they're both mental illnesses.
They usually go hand in hand, though, do they not? I mean, depression and struggling with drugs, I believe.
Oh, okay. Then
it's a pretty simple equation. You're depressed. You're looking for something to help you.
Right. Okay.
Drugs seems to be the answer.
Yeah.
It's pretty common.
I try not to diagnose things or correlate what different illnesses because I just really don't know. Anyway, in light of this, I actually kind of found that a lot of people are pretty much bashing on Ariana Grande and kind of blaming her, and I think I
saw a bit of that.
Yeah, so I think that's because she. So that was back in May when they had broken up. And yeah, so it's still pretty recent, and so right now we're.
I actually thought it was much more recent than that. To be honest, I thought they broke up very recently.
No, but the thing was, it seemed like she moved on maybe fairly quickly because she's actually now engaged to what's his name? Pete something from SNL. Pete SNL. That guy.
Pete SNL.
So
does he play a person? I mean, I'm sure he plays many people. Does he play someone famous? Is there a famous skit you can think of that he does?
He plays some skater that always goes, okay. I don't really watch a lot of his stuff. So anyway, so they started dating. I don't know how long ago, but then now they're engaged, and I think there were a lot of posts on social media just showing how in love they are and how fast they're moving, and I can maybe see from Mac Miller's perspective
how fast they're moving. How many months has it been?
Well, that was back in May, so it was the 5th month. We're now in the 9th, so 4 months. Okay. I think that's pretty fast. If you went from a 2-year relationship, I mean,
it depends. I mean, it's totally dependent on the people.
That's true.
It's dependent on life choices and where they're at, and religious or not, or culture values, all these things. There's so many things I don't know about these people that I could not judge if that's fast or not. Maybe they were childhood friends or something, and then
Right.
and then now they just know and they want to get married. So I have no idea. I don't know the situation. But,
No. Yeah, I totally understand.
But that's where I'm coming from at least. So I don't know, but I don't. That might be fast, but it might not be. I don't know.
Maybe not. But I think either way, I think just because of whatever this time span is, like a lot of people have actually taken their time to bash Ariana and kind of blame her for not being, I don't know, maybe like not being considerate enough towards Mac's feelings or something like that, or not being.
I saw a bit of that. So
yeah,
just from my point of view, so what I saw on Twitter, because it was trending, he died, and I saw that it felt like some people were accusing her, and I didn't read her response fully, but she said something along the lines of, why would I stay in a relationship that is abusive and negative and something along the lines of the fact that she was not happy in that relationship and it was an abusive relationship. Right. Now, I'm not saying physically abusive. It could have been anything. Could have been mentally. Could have just been, this guy on either way. She didn't even say it was towards her. It could have been anything. Yeah. Just necessarily that it was a toxic environment that she wanted to get away from.
Yeah. And that's totally fair.
And sure. I am not gonna fault somebody for leaving an environment that makes them feel that way in any way possible. I'm also not going to blame her, in my opinion, without knowing the story all that much. From what I've seen, I don't see why we would blame someone, even if you take the celebrity out of it and you just take two people and they break up. Yeah. I've broken up with people I've been broken up with. Yeah. I just don't think that it is the fault of the person that breaks up with them at all. Or I don't think it's ever the fault of anybody else other than the individual. And it's such a shame that people get into depression and that people get into drugs and people get into alcohol and all that. But, oh man, it sounds mean, but I feel like we just need to pick ourselves up more these days. Sure.
I think I disagree like a little bit, just because like I find having like I've had a family member who's gone through depression as well, and so I can't see mental illnesses like depression or even like addictions being something where it's really about that individual and that individual alone like overcoming it. Right. Actually, that reminds me. It was Ariana's brother who recently made a post just saying like, how obviously how tragic it is that Mac Miller passed away, and but how almost like how pivotal Mac Miller was towards Ariana's brother going through that same problem, because he was actually battling with addiction and he went to rehab. Okay. And then I think he said like every 30, 60, 90 days Mac Miller would be the one to give him like a congratulations card, like you've done it, you've gone this far, keep going, like good job, keep it up. Okay. So he seemed like really supportive, and I think it's because like he also came from an experience, or he came from the place of having to go through it and going through those difficult times. And I think that actually this kind of promotes what I really feel about it, is that it's never. I don't think it can be an individual thing. Like, well, it comes down to
there's nothing wrong with getting help at all. Yeah. And obviously he could have got help from his own side. Sure. I don't see why it's her fault for him.
Oh no, I don't think it's her fault.
Right.
Definitely not. No. I think it's really really unfair to be pointing blame towards her. I'm trying to like I'm more of the I just really think that even if he's unable to seek out help, I think there should already be some support system in place. Whether that support system was there to begin with as preventing him from being addicted to drugs or anything, like just having like a circle of friends, close people that he works with, like anybody could do, just anybody that could care about him or does care about him, and show their care by helping him through that kind of situation. Right. Like if I saw any of my friends going through some drug addiction, like I would instantly try to figure out like, how can I help him through that? I wouldn't be like, okay, well he's got to figure it out on his own. He's got to see where he can find help, because like that's his problem. Right. Like it's
and that's where the context matters, and that's where our opinion doesn't matter anymore, right? Not that we shouldn't talk about it. I think it's so important to talk about these kinds of things, because situations are everything. You take this moment and now it relates to something entirely different. Right. But I do believe that from the little that I saw from what she said, I saw that she said that there was a toxic environment that she tried to escape from. Mm-hmm. In my mind, if that's the scenario, if that's true, I don't think at all that he should be going to her or she should be going to him for that guidance or that help at all. And when she's apart, clearly somebody needed to fill that role to be able to fix that, right? And it's a sad message that he didn't get that. Sorry, sir. Just go back a little bit. I do forget the facts here. So he died from overdose on drugs. So was he on his own or something, like in his apartment or something? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think I read that he was just found in his apartment.
This is so common for famous people too, right? Yeah. It's got to be a stress of being famous. Like that's something I'm
sure that's definitely a part of it.
Just because we see it so much with famous people, dead by suicide or dead by induced suicide with drugs, and it just makes me think there must be something to that, where when you've got the world looking to you,
Yeah.
it's got to be a lot of pressure or something, right? I mean,
absolutely.
that's got to be a lot of pressure, and I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Not at all. That sounds scary.
Yeah.
And I'd like to stay well away from that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. And again, Mac Miller, passing away at such a young age, 26, is very tragic. I think regardless of the situation of how it happened.
If it was a 26-year-old just out on the streets, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad all around, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mac Miller, rest in peace. You will be missed. But hopefully this is also a life lesson for everybody else too. I mean, it's something that we're going to deal with continuously, no matter what. It's going to come up, and it could be somebody that you know, maybe you don't know, but either way, I think it's always something that we need to be more aware of, and also be aware of like how we can come out of it, more positively.
Cool. Sad, but let's move on to some happier news.
Sure.
Just kidding. It's more sad news. Burt Reynolds passed away. So another
also
person.
very sad.
Now, this one affects me a little bit, but not in a total sense. Celebrities are celebrities. I don't know these people personally.
Yeah.
They have an effect on me emotionally, obviously. And Burt Reynolds is a little bit different because I used to watch the movie Cannonball Run as a kid with my dad all the time. I love that movie. Yeah. It's really funny. Burt Reynolds himself was the star of that movie. He makes that movie. His laugh was infectious. He was hilarious.
Okay.
Smokey and the Bandit, another good role of his.
Yeah.
These are the two movies that everyone's going to mention, I think, these days. I haven't really seen Twitter or what other people are saying about this.
Yeah.
And I don't need to spend too much time on Burt Reynolds because he doesn't really affect me all that much. It's just that it's sad to see someone go, obviously, somebody that does affect people. Yeah. And heart goes out to him, but he lived a long, healthy life. Yeah. We should actually be applauding him instead of being sad about it. He had a great life, and he was a fantastic guy.
That's a great legacy. I think in terms of all the films that he's produced, even though I haven't seen any of them, except...
Wait, you haven't seen any Burt Reynolds movies?
I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Oh.
The only ones that I can picture seeing him in would be when he had just like small parts, or I don't know how small they were, but in Without a Paddle, he was.
Oh right. He's the crazy what's his
cabin
name?
guy.
Yeah, what's his name in that?
I don't know. Bert?
No, it's he's the guy. He was the partner of the other guy, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah, he was a partner
of the crazy guy.
The guy who like made the map.
Yeah. Somebody I can't remember his name. Anyways,
what's his name?
Anyway, I forgot all about that role. He was really good as that. Yeah, he was funny.
And then the other role I can think of him in is I think he was like the coach or something in The Longest Yard, like the remake.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, yes, I did forget about that one. That's also another good role for him. Was he not the original?
He was in the original.
Yeah, he was the guy from the original. You're right.
I didn't watch it, but like
I don't know the original one. I never really saw it, but I did like the remake a lot. Actually,
yeah.
It's a weird movie that just came out of nowhere and it was great.
Yeah.
And it's like stayed great. Like Remember the Titans, it just stayed great.
Yeah. So those are my images of Burt Reynolds.
So
it's probably
and the mustache, the iconic mustache. Everyone talks about the mustache.
Yeah.
He was really funny. Okay, SpaceX launches the Telstar 18. Now, I did a little bit of research about this. I do like SpaceX. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to have NASA, but I also have like not competing, but just a collaborative kind of environment with other companies.
Sure.
So it's nice to see SpaceX out there.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about Tesla. I always I waffle back and forth about Elon Musk and Tesla and all that. And I like the way Elon Musk talks. I have to say, when I listen to him talking, I'm like, I'm usually down for whatever he's talking about. I just like the fact that he's talking in general. I like companies being innovative, and I like companies making mistakes. It's good. I think you have to break a few eggs sometimes, and I think it's very important for us to learn. And I think that Elon Musk has done that quite a bit, which is good.
He's got some good charisma behind him, and
very good charisma.
So.
Well, actually. He's not that good at expressing his thoughts, much like me. But he's got some good thoughts, though. Really interesting perspective. Regardless of if it ends up being right or wrong, he's got a very interesting perspective, and I think that should be applauded. But regardless, SpaceX launched the Telstar 18, a communication satellite. The first one was launched in 1962, and I wrote the definition of a communication satellite because I didn't know what it was.
Oh, is that what the asterisk is?
That's what the asterisk is. Yes.
Oh, there's footnotes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I know. Aren't I amazing?
You were so prepared.
A communication satellite is an artificial satellite that relays and amplifies radio telecommunication signals via a transponder. It creates a communication channel between a source transmitter and a receiver at different locations on Earth. Pretty sure what they're talking about is it helps us communicate.
Cool. Good, because I could not fall for that.
No, I know. But the first one was in 1962, and I think it's hilarious that from there, I think 2 were launched. From what I read today, it was a really brief Wikipedia skim.
Yeah.
But in 1962, I believe we launched, or NASA at least, launched 2 communication satellites into the space. And then it's funny that we're on Telstar 18. So it's the 16th launch. but it's the number 18.
So they probably skipped 13 and 7?
Or those first two were Telstar 1 and 2. I don't know.
Sure.
In 1962, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's the 16th launch. It's 18 Telstar communication satellite. And I just find it interesting. I don't know if there's any red tape behind this or political stuff behind this, but SpaceX launched the Telstar, not NASA. Well, NASA launched the original Telstar. So what happened there? Suddenly NASA is not launching stuff into space and SpaceX is doing it instead? Maybe SpaceX had better technology for this. I don't know.
Maybe they had different
sources
of funding. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's one thing people don't seem to realize. A lot of funding for the Tesla projects or SpaceX or Elon Musk projects in general are from the government. I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad. It's just that a lot of people wonder where he gets the money.
Oh, I see.
If you want a quick answer, government. So technically, when you see projects like this, you should realize that it is from the taxpayers. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I like that there's projects like this. Personally, I think it's kind of nice that we get to see more projects that are more innovative and trying.
Right.
I think it's interesting. But just be aware that these are things that people pay for. Technically, because the government money is given back to the companies.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I think, like, if anybody else knows that that's wrong, because I know Tesla is. I assume SpaceX is as well. Pretty sure.
I would assume so too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Could be wrong though.
So with the new satellite though, what's the intent of this? Is it just gonna like stay up there and just kind of orbit for like indefinitely, or I don't know?
Yeah. There's a lot of oh, man. If you saw a photo right now of satellites in space, there's so many. Right. It's ridiculous. We have like a full layer of cluttered garbage up there of just things flying around that help us communicate. But
sounds like humans.
I think I saw Joe Rogan and Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this. And there's a really good clip on YouTube. You can watch it. It's like 10 minutes long. And they talk about like how there's actually so much mess up there. They need to clean it up. Like it's actually like kind of like wasteful. Yeah. And I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about like a vacuum or something to like clean up some of the mess. Yeah. But there was a photo that they showed and I was like, wow, that is ridiculous. Like,
was it like the giant Liberty vacuum thing from Spaceballs?
Suck. Oh, that shot of the trees. Yeah. It goes back. Oh, I love it. Okay, moving on. Spider-Man PS4, Sony's latest PlayStation 4 exclusive, has beaten Far Cry 5 and God of War and has become the fastest-selling Marvel game of all time. There's a lot being said here. So the new Spider-Man PS4 game.
I have a couple of friends who have they have paid for it. Yep. But I've only heard good things, and I think you said that your roommate also.
Yeah, my roommate's been playing it. He enjoys it.
And have you had a chance to play it as well?
I'm staying away from it right now. I like I said last time, I like to say one game at a time. Regardless, it's fine. Moving on. Spider-Man 4, great game, sold really well. I think the reviews seem decent to good. From what I've heard, it's about a 25-hour game or so, storyline wise, and most of the collectibles. I think you can platinum the game in probably under 50 hours. And platinum means 100%ing in all ways. Okay. Yeah. So and that's PS4 terminology, but still. So it's on the shorter side. Yeah. That's kind of what I predicted. It's a whole new engine, really good graphics from what I can see, and so that tells me the content is going to be lower. What will most likely happen is within the next 2 years we'll probably see a sequel. Yeah. Maybe starring a different character. It seems like they're playing up a Miles Morales thing, so I can see them saying, "Hey, sequel, Miles Morales, done." Yeah. Maybe Peter's in it. I don't know the story. Then I could just see a sequel. Sequel will be same engine, same graphics, but content heavy. And that's so I feel like if you really like the game and you like how it plays, how it feels, but you want more, then you're gonna love the sequel. So I could see that being big. Okay. Big. Although I don't think it's the biggest game of the year because Red Dead Redemption is exclusive to Xbox One and PlayStation 4 this year.
Red Dead 2? Is that?
Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes. Yeah. It's coming out this year. I believe it's November, maybe October actually. And it is, I would say that's probably going to be the biggest seller.
So when is the video game fiscal year over? Like when did they stop counting games as part of like game of the year? Is it just like January?
Game of the year is so loose though. It kind of depends. But again, when I say game of the year, there's what the box art says when it says game of the year. Okay. There's what each individual website says as game of the year, and then there's your own personal game of the year. That's usually what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about game of the year, I'm more talking about what do you feel is your game of the year? What is the one game that you say, I don't regret this purchase at all. There's a fantastic game, and I'll be talking about this for years. Yeah. That's how I see game of the year. But I don't necessarily mean like a universal game of the year. Everyone goes, it was blah this year, right? That's not really a thing.
I just assumed that there was some actual like title that they could be rewarded. Kind of like how every book is like the New York bestseller.
No, but even that's arguable. So the Academy Awards, it's all arguable, right? None of it's universal, so
sure.
So that's Spider-Man.
But I think just in the game, like the freedom of being able to web sling around, just going around the city and like kind of immerse yourself. Oh, imagine like Oculus Rift or PS, whatever their virtual reality thing is, but playing Spider-Man. Yeah. And like you're actually like you see you'd look up and your hands are like gloves, and you like, and then you like shoot
That
webs, and
moment?
you're like, whoa!
I
And
would
then
do
you,
the thing
like,
Tobey
then you throw
Maguire
up
does.
because you can't handle it.
You could, probably would throw up.
Yeah.
I would do what Tobey Maguire does in the first Spider-Man movie, where
Does-
he goes.
Yeah.
It does that weird quick Sam Raimi shot where it does all the hand motion.
Yeah.
Go web.
Yeah.
And he does these.
He's doing all these like Naruto ninjutsu symbols. I don't think you watch anime. Sorry, no, that's so. Anyway, yeah,
Naruto
there are these
ninjutsu.
these ninjas, and they do different hand seals. And
Wind,
So-
water, earth, fire.
I'm sure some of them represent
Love.
those.
With our powers combined, Captain Planet. So Henry Cavill is no longer playing
I
Superman.
thought you were being serious.
No.
Okay.
Henry Cavill is no longer playing Superman, apparently.
I heard that's just a rumor, and he
No,
actually
you're
has
wrong.
Okay. So
No,
next
you're
topic?
right. You're right. It's not actually confirmed.
Okay.
We definitely should say that. It's not confirmed. It's just that Warner Brothers and him have talked about the cameo for the Shazam movie.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, he's not. He did not have the time to do the cameo for the Shazam movie.
Okay.
And then, not only does he not have the time for that,
Yeah.
there was talks that he does not have the time to continue with DC because of works and other things. It's funny because last podcast we talked about the Witcher movie.
Oh
where
yeah,
he
yeah,
signed
that's
off
right.
for the Witcher
yeah.
movie.
That's
It
right.
seems as if the scheduling conflicts with that are bigger than they seem at first. Like,
see.
I don't believe he's continuing on as Superman.
Oh, that's interesting.
And for that matter, people are starting to take this further and saying, is this the moment that DC does a reboot? And they officially wipe everybody again. Which personally I think is the best option for DC at this point. I think you can definitely reboot the DC series.
It's interesting that you say that because then I was reading about how Ben Affleck is also going to be hanging up his cape.
That's what I mean,
Batman.
yeah. So Ben Affleck,
yeah.
he officially gave over the director debut for Batman like last year or so, a few months ago maybe. So he was not going to direct Batman anymore. He did not seem to be in it for the Justice League reshoots they did with Joss Whedon. So I believe Ben Affleck, but when I say in it, I mean he was physically in it. Yes, I just mean he wasn't mentally there.
Right.
But it does not seem like he is continuing on. But that one's more skeptical than the whole the Henry Cavill thing is more solid news than the Ben Affleck thing, because Ben Affleck hasn't publicly said anything about it yet.
So
while
then
Henry Cavill seems less inclined to do more DC work.
So then, okay, if they're going to be switching over and doing a reboot, because I heard that they're going to be focusing on Supergirl soon-ish.
Yes,
I don't really know
exactly.
what the timeline is. So does that mean that this is going to be a brand new universe? It's not going to include any...
No one knows. No one knows anything yet. That's why I
man.
kind of want to talk about it, because it's more just us kind of musing on the idea of what's DC going to do. I don't know much about Supergirl, but I heard that Supergirl is actually in the past. Then it's before.
Oh, that's right. Origin story.
So it's more of an origin. Yeah, so I heard that it's... It would frustrate me if DC kept the universe that they have right now and did Supergirl in the past. And what's funny, the only reason it frustrates me is because it's too similar to Captain Marvel right now. That Marvel's doing with Captain Marvel. They're going back to the 90s and doing a story from the past.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
The origin story for...
Yes, which is actually a really genius idea. I never really thought about how good that is, but it's good because they're introducing Captain Marvel tangent, but they're going on they're introducing the enemies, the Skrulls, in the Captain Marvel movie, and the Skrulls can shapeshift. Yeah. So it's interesting because you're going in the past, now you're saying people have shapeshifted. So that could easily affect any other movie we know, except for Captain America.
I see. So like every Avenger could be a Skrull.
Yes, I don't think it would be any of the main cast, but I think we could see did you know Bucky wasn't always Bucky or something, or maybe not Bucky, but it could be. But Hawkeye, did you know he wasn't always Hawkeye or something, right? Like I could easily see that where they're like, oh, Shazam! Like Hawkeye was actually a Skrull. Yeah. Regardless, cool. Back to Superwoman or Supergirl. Which one is it?
Girl.
Is Superwoman a thing?
I think, did Lois Lane become Superwoman at some point?
Oh wow.
I think.
Wait, that actually brings up a different question for me. Who is Supergirl? His niece? I thought it was his niece.
I think they've always been cousins, like in all the different.
Oh, cousins. Sorry, no, you're right. Yeah, it was cousins. Yeah.
Stuff. I don't know.
But is she a girl or is she a woman?
Well, the thing is, there are different universes or arcs or whatever where she's either older or younger than him. So there will be one arc where Superman. Yeah. Where she's older than Superman, and other arcs or other timelines, where she's actually younger than him.
But is she physically a girl or a woman?
Well,
why are they calling her Supergirl? That's so
what Argo City? What's her planet? Argo something. I mean, she's also
Elrond.
Krypton.
What are they called? I don't know.
But I mean, either way, Kryptonians
that's Krypton. That's where they're from, right? Krypton.
But I think maybe I'm just thinking of the specific.
Oh, I don't know. You know more than I do on this.
I really don't think I do. but
in my opinion, he's not Superboy. So why would you call her Supergirl, right? If she's gonna be a stand-up woman of moral character and older than Superman, calling her Supergirl is not a good start.
I think it just rolls off the tongue better. Supergirl.
Once somebody's named Shazam, then you can be named whatever you want to be named, apparently.
I think that's too long.
Shazam? Oh, whatever.
No.
That is a long name. This last news is false.
Yes, so...
We're going to tell you fake news right now, knowingly tell you incorrect information.
So just so everybody knows, the fake news is that Bruno Mars is not... No, it's fake that he will be playing Prince.
Yes,
The
this is
truth is
opposite.
that he
This
will
is opposite
not
news.
be playing Prince. So...
If you hear Bruno Mars is going to play Prince, apparently Bruno Mars is not going to play Prince.
But at the same time, I think if he
Maybe
did...
he will.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's an idea now. Doesn't mean it can't happen.
This
in
is
the future.
curious news. It could happen.
This is what if news. I think maybe if anybody could play, I mean, I can only think of him at this point just because that's what's going through my head. But I think he would be a great candidate to play Prince.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Bruno Mars is. Can you tell me what he looks like or something he's done?
Well, okay, so he has the recent album 24K. He's been performing. I think he performed at one of the Super Bowls. Was it 2 years ago? And I think he split it with like Coldplay and I think Beyonce.
Okay, so I'm assuming he's more like poppy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he's not like a rapper. He's like pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. He's the one. His albums before were a little bit more like almost like not like lovey-dovey, but
romanticized.
Shoot, what's that song? Oh, beautiful girl all over the world.
Oh, I know that song.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So yeah, so he sang that one.
Okay. So
he
actually has talent. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's actually really talented.
Okay,
like
cool.
Singer and dancer. He was
Because Prince will require
and he plays guitar
real
too.
talent.
So
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Prince can
Okay.
do, like,
Good.
everything.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of like the musicality aspect, for sure, I think he could pretty much. I think he could pull off the look too just by looking at him. He can like mimic his kind of like funky curly
Prince
hair.
has the Jerry curl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bruno Mars, yeah, when he was younger, when he was a kid, he was actually like a Michael Jackson impersonator. Like
I was gonna say, a buddy of mine was telling me that there was an intense rivalry between Michael Jackson and then what he said was this guy called King. Oh, I was like, who's King? And it turns out he got the translation wrong. He was like, oh no, Prince. It's like King. I've never heard of this guy. But apparently there was quite a bit of a rivalry between the two of them.
Oh,
I guess their music was like around the same era. I don't know. I'm out of this, but I heard that they competed for like similar.
I can see that. You know,
charts.
When I think of musicians now and musicians then, like specifically, sure, Michael Jackson, Prince, even like going further back to like Elvis and
Johnny Cash.
Like sure, Johnny Cash. So like when they're singing, you really hear their personality. And I'm not saying you don't hear personalities now. You do, but I think they had
less
very.
so, though. I would agree with that.
Well, yeah, I think that's also kind of subjective because like
Well, you're right.
yeah, like
There's more content. This is the same as the video games, same as the movies. It's more content, so
yeah. But it's just that whenever I
More
heard
bad,
Michael
more good.
Jackson, like when I listen to his songs, you know, the way he sings, like there are things that it's just like the ways that he would either enunciate or like toss in just like some random like sound effect. And I know like sure it's just like a sound effect, but at the same time,
Michael Jackson.
like yeah, that's just like how he is expressing like his music, right? And I think Prince did a lot of that too.
Okay.
Just like they have this really unique way of performing, but performing like their lyrics, not just like performing on stage, but performing their song and making it be like, you know, this is purely done by just Michael Jackson. This is purely done by just Prince. Like nobody could mimic it because like you'd literally have to be them to mimic it, if you know what I mean. And I find like that kind of musicianship I really, really enjoyed about them. And yeah, I can see why they would have that rivalry because they would both had such unique senses in musicality. Yeah,
they would know the talent of the other person.
And also they were both really talented in what they did, right? So
makes sense.
I'm sure they both really worked hard at their craft and not, you know, everybody does, but you know, because their crafts were probably so similar, I can, you know, the rivalry makes sense.
Do you think Michael Jackson will be played by somebody in the Bruno Mars movie?
Oh.
Sorry,
that
the
would
Prince.
be so
sorry,
cool.
The Prince
No,
movie, I should say, not the Bruno Mars movie.
That would be. Oh, that'd be.
Let's
great.
just
I think
cast.
that'd be
Let's
cool.
cast Michael Jackson real quick.
Right now.
Yeah, who's gonna play Michael Jackson?
Were you gonna say Tilda Swinton?
I was gonna say Tilda Swinton. Thank you. I couldn't remember her name though. Yes, Tilda Swinton looks like Michael Jackson.
Okay, then I will say Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Because they can play each other. Yeah, they definitely can. You're right.
Yeah.
Good call. What's that vampire movie they're in?
What's it? Something. Only Lovers Left Alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's the one. Yeah. He's
Okay.
he's nice.
That's ye old news, Anth0z.
That's a lot of news.
That is quite a bit of news. I think we had a lot of content there. Because of that, I will take out my topic.
Again, but you did that last week.
That's fine.
Why don't we could do yours?
No, mine is way less important.
Okay.
I can 100% tell you mine is less important.
Okay.
I'll move it on next week. Let's move on to your small topic.
Sure.
Wait, no.
No, my big talk.
Your topic. We're not going to do a small
topic.
topic. We're not going to do a big topic. I needed the time for that ye old news. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I edit everything. Everything is edited, and
Nothing
you can't
is
take
real.
This sentence is cut together to make me say what art
Brush.
say Anth0z. I agree. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm so parched now. So, yeah, my topic, actually we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. It just has to do with Tesla. I was thinking about tossing it back then, but I thought, no, we'll just,
interesting. I didn't think we'd cover
take
that.
some time now to really talk about it.
We treaded ground.
Yeah. So it just has to do with, where, not just where Elon Musk is now and like where he's been seen with like the Joe Rogan interviews and all that kind of stuff, but where Tesla has been, they've been going a lot of, it's been a roller coaster ride. They've been going up and down a lot for the past little while.
Yeah. And my opinion on them actually seems to change quite a bit too, which is very interesting. But
like when they go up, you go up with them?
No, I don't actually pay attention to much to their stocks, but I noticed that my opinion of them started changing when I started looking at different ways of handling environmental effects, I guess.
Okay.
I should say.
Sure.
And then I started. So for me, I like the man, but the company I change on quite a bit.
Okay.
It's not. So which does stem from ideas that he has, obviously. So I mean,
Right.
it's all connected. So I would say I'm confused.
Yeah.
So I do change quite a bit on opinion. I don't have one solid stance right now.
That seems, I would guess that's kind of the consensus with a lot of people because sure, we see a lot of his face when he's kind of answering some questions or when he's just brought up into the light for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then when it comes down to it is like what's happening with the company, because the company is what a lot of people have actually physically invested in. Sure, they're investing in him, right? Because they're hoping that he's going to be able to pull off this Model 3 car.
It's the idea. It's the idea of having a way to fix a future where we're going to turmoil or we're going to chaos. The idea that the environment is destroyed, there's nothing we can do, we're all just going to die. Such a bleak, unhappy place to be. And then one guy goes, "Oh, I've got this tiny little car company, and it fixes all your problems." And we go, "Ah!" So everyone jumps on board, and then suddenly he smoked weed on the Joe Rogan show, and suddenly the world is like flipped overnight. And I went, "What? What?"
Yeah, I don't really know, like.
It shows the fickleness of people.
I think that's part of why I try to avoid social media sometimes.
I agree.
Like I would rather wait to see the product.
Yes.
And just like, let them make the product first, and then we'll see what happens. Because like in the meantime, like if you're just speculating and it doesn't, in the end, it doesn't even like affect anything, then you just kind of wasted time or whatever, right? But right now it just seems like during their ups and downs, it's had to do a lot. I'd say since the Model 3 production has started, I think that's where a lot of problems per se have come up. I think there were a couple of employees that left, and they sued him for something. I think the production quality wasn't up to standards, or they were kind of like cutting corners somewhere, and I think that's maybe where some of the
someone was suing. This was an employee, not a customer.
It was an employee.
Suing for standards of the car or standards of the workplace?
I think it's the workplace, but I think it's actually like the process of building the cars.
But and so he's a huge figure, though. I mean, when you sue that kind of a guy,
sure,
you
yeah,
could
exactly.
easily be getting money too. So I mean, I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying there could easily be more to the story that we don't know.
Well, absolutely, and again, this is one of the reasons why I like to avoid social media and listen to this stuff. But at the same time, I'm kind of invested because I've also put down a deposit for the Model 3.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
That's so funny. My girlfriend and I, we were talking about the same thing. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not the full on deposit, but like we've been musing the idea of like the next real car we buy, should it be a Tesla? Because like I do like where the company's going. I like the car so far. Yeah. I liked a lot of stats about it. The price seems to be dropping each time they come up with a new model. And I looked at it and went, oh wow, this is our next family car, right?
Well, see, the thing is, like he made this big promise where the Model 3 was going to be this new affordable one. It was going to be 40. I think it was 35,000 or 30,000. It's
30,000 American. Yeah. So it's 40. It was. I thought it was 44 Canadian.
Yeah.
And I don't know that's not the conversion of American to Canadian, but that is the conversion of the manufacturing for that car to Canadian.
Sure.
Because I believe there's a tax involved with bringing over the car from America to Canada. I think it's how it works.
Oh.
But I believe it came to 44,000 Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, that was his promise, and then the first Model 3 car that we all see happens to be like 80,000 Canadian, and I think it was also
Whoa.
so 60,000 US because they came up with the premium model. So what kind of happened was he started producing this, and then he was still, I guess they were still taking in deposits, and I'm guessing what those deposits went to was for manufacturing more, like more of the Model 3s, because they started off with like very low production rates, and they've still been climbing. But I think at this point they still haven't hit that mark where they're producing at the same rate as other like car manufacturers are. So they're not. I don't really know in terms of what that means for like financial stability, but yeah, I just think like in terms of all this, I'm wondering what is that going to do for the people who are currently investing? Like, are they thinking, well, should I be pulling out? And if I do, like, what's going to happen with my deposit? Like, is this something that's going to be worth it in the long run? I just feel like, you know, there's so many questions and so many unanswered kind of factors, things you know, that are going on right now that it's just like a big kind of what if. It's like a big gamble, if you know what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah. So it just
investments always are.
For sure. And it just which would be kind of unfortunate because like this seemed like you said, this was kind of that big solution that everybody was looking for. Not to say that all other electric cars couldn't still do the same thing,
right? But
at the same time, you know, this was the one that really did seem like it was going to be the one for the long haul because he's also worked on like sustainable homes, like the whole battery powered home kind of thing, and then also with SpaceX, you know, he's doing this whole kind of thing. He's just doing everything. He's doing quite a bit of stuff, and you know, it's like it's the stuff that people would like to back because it just seems like he's trying to solve all these kind of solutions. He's not just like talk.
Yeah.
He's actually being proactive about it. I'm sure other people are, but he's in the limelight, and I think that's the unfortunate part because he's in the limelight. He gets all this flack when this one little thing, like he smokes weed, and now that means like he can't be in like the best CEO. He can't produce all this stuff just because he did that. Or
my opinions on Elon Musk, I really did cover this pretty much. So for the most part, I do like the guy. I do like his thoughts. I like that he even says in the Joe Rogan podcast, one of his best things he says, and he ends at the end on this, is that he believes in love. He believes in the love of people.
Okay.
And he believes in people. And I do too. I really believe in people. People are what have made us get here, obviously. Evolution over time has made us become the people that we are, where we are a group society that deals with helping each other, loving each other, and being a good community. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean we're just nice all the time, obviously. But it also doesn't mean we're hateful creatures. If we were hateful creatures, nobody would be getting along, and we wouldn't have this tribalism group mentality that we have, right?
Yeah.
So Elon Musk is trying to say, in his own words, in the moment, smoking weed with Joe Rogan, that yeah, we should believe in love. We should believe in a future. We shouldn't be talking about how the world is going to end, and that the environment is dying, and the seagulls are getting caught in rubbish in the ocean, and because of that, the world is about to explode. And so there's no point in caring about the future because it's already so far gone. And that's not everyone's opinion. That's just, there are people out there that seem to want to stand up and shout that opinion. Mm-hmm. And I like Elon Musk because he seems to be a guy who says, no, I disagree, because I think if we take inventions, or if we take a good, innovative idea, we could fix that attitude. We just need to try. Right? And I love that. I love somebody having an opinion and trying, and just go for it. I believe this. If you all believe with me, we can try, we can make it, you know? And as long as it's a decent enough idea that believes in humanity, then that's good.
Yeah, but actually that's the way that I would wish we could just carry on with life too.
Of course.
Otherwise we're wasting so much time just trying to, I don't know, it's like diminishing somebody else for your own personal gain, right? Like, it's such a waste of time.
Depends on the situation. So I do believe in that world. I think it's how it should be. As an investor, when you're looking at these kinds of situations, though, you didn't invest in a car. Obviously. Nobody invested in a car when they made that choice. Everybody invested in the company or the man. Yeah. They invested in the idea, the betterment of humankind. And this is where you get to, are you paying for a stance? Are you paying for a political stance? Or are you paying for a cultural stance? Are you paying for an emotional stance? Or are you paying for just a vehicle to drive you from point A to point B? And that's why when the money jumps up by double, it's not like double? 80,000? 40 to 80?
Well, yeah, practically.
We could round it up. We could just say double.
Yeah.
So for double your money, that's literally putting your money where your mouth is. Like, does it matter? What is the stance? Like, are you gonna stand on a soapbox and say, because of this, I'm buying this car, and I don't care that it inflated in price? Yeah. Or are you saying, you know what? At the end of the day, I just wanted a car. I just wanted to get to work, and your car seemed kind of cool, you know? And I don't think either one of them is right or wrong. You know, it depends on you personally as a person. But I don't think anybody should feel too much pressure on that. I think you probably already know the answer. I think you personally, when you saw the number change, you probably know the answer. Did you go, you know what, I don't actually care that much, you know? Or did you go, no, it's not about the car. I could care less about the car. It's more about the idea. Then you're going to have a totally different idea about this.
Yeah.
But if you personally are seeing the money right now and you have a reservation for it, then all the power to you. You should be able to easily find another affordable car that is also still good on the environment if that's what your position is, and be fine with that. Or wait. You can always wait.
Yeah.
You can always wait for another model. Because
yeah.
the idea, as far as I know, is to bring that cost down further and further and further. And one day, I believe that we will see a Nissan something or other that's got some kind of ecological value to it that is $30,000. And then there is the Tesla that's $35,000. And we go, well, I'll get the Tesla. You know, I believe in that world. I think that'll happen, but maybe it won't. It's a bit of a question. Yeah. And I would have to judge, am I buying a car or am I making a stance?
Right.
So that's the question that I think I would ask to someone in your position. But you don't have to answer that now. That you're the only one who knows the answer, and you're not going to know it immediately. You probably know internally, but you got to talk to yourself a bit. You got to find that one.
Well, I think I've actually been kind of struggling with it over the past little while, because I was always looking forward to the more affordable one, because as somebody living here, already knowing like it's kind of hard to just be able to live here, like, you know, find a place to live. Yeah. Renting, owning, like it's all difficult no matter what, right? And so always trying to be conscious of the cost, but then at the same time, I still want to be able to promote something that I believe in, and like to the extent that I know, like I do believe in this this solution per se to really help us out with moving forward into like the non-gas cars kind of thing, because obviously like there's already a big problem. We know that.
I do think gas is ridiculous, and there seems to be enough evidence to show that gas is not a viable solution for the future. It seems like we should be finding other alternatives. Yeah,
and I'm not obviously saying that Tesla's electric car is like the one and only solution, because there are obviously like other electric cars out there. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, just having to envisioning that you're going to be investing in this one car that is supposed to be coming out, and then I think a year or so later it's just getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. Like, is it even ever going to come out? Like, what's going to happen? And just there's so many variables, and kind of like battling with myself internally, just what is it that really matters to me. And if money grew on trees, or if money was everywhere, or if money wasn't a thing and we can just buy whatever, you know, whatever we have in that kind of world, then obviously it'd just be easier to say like, yeah, let's just do it kind of thing. But at the same time, like it's still the kind of thing where I want to be able to weigh out the options as much as I can. And then I think at the same time, like, how is it that I can really weigh out the options properly? Because if I'm just doing my own research, how do I know that I'm really finding out the right facts? And I think that's kind of a part of it too. Like where I struggle is I'm researching, but then I can't really tell if what I'm reading is legit. And
it's very true. That's a very good point too, because you go to a lot of articles today, and it just seems like everything is fake. And I know it's such a term that's thrown around these days, fake news and all that, but it does seem like when you go to articles, you're like, is this based on reality? Because when you try to go down the trail, and you go, where did this go? It went nowhere, right? And it's usually an opinion piece. There's so many opinion pieces today that are drawn as fact when they're just opinion pieces. And then they go in circle, and they all seem to like reference each other, and then you go, wait, hold on. But you're right. So my biggest thing, I think, when you're trying to find research on your own is to look at multiple sources. For example, what I'm doing is there's a documentary called Gasland and another one called Frack Nation. Now they're both totally different and against each other. One is about the gas environment, and I think it's like how bad gas is for the environment, how terrible fracking is for the environment, I believe is what it is. And the other one is Frack Nation, which is literally the whole video, I think, is just refuting Gas Nation. So I want to watch them both because it's like, here's two totally different sides of the argument, and then take from these two videos my own stance, right? So
that does seem like it has to be part of it, right?
Yeah, that's what I think it is. You have to look at both sides. You have to look at both sides and take your own opinion in the end. And you know your opinion based on that, but if you don't do that, then your opinion is just that, an opinion.
Yeah, and then you got to learn from whatever happens as a result, right? Yeah,
exactly. But and feel free to be wrong. That should be the theme of this podcast. Is you can be wrong. It is totally fine. Make mistakes. Miss Frizzle says, make mistakes, get messy.
Get messy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the bus goes beep beep.
Beep beep.
Baked into a pot.
Okay, so we discussed this behind the scenes. We are not going to do the next topic. Again, we're skipping it. And we are also going to skip the game, unfortunately. Oh, I know, audience, I know. Yeah. Hey, don't make me come over there,
Jimmy.
Hey! Okay, so we're going to skip it. We're going to move on to message in a bottle just for the sake of time and clarity, because we are a little bit new to this, so we're still trying to figure out what is our average time. I personally like an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm trying to keep it down to that. I know this will be a longer one, but hey, we're not perfect, and neither are you. So continuing on.
At the same time, I think we should also maybe just mention what we should clarify what message in a bottle is, because we didn't have message in a bottle last episode.
You're totally right. I forgot about that. Yeah, last time it was called Pirate Treasure, I think.
Yeah, and
that was
but we were kind of going back and forth.
Message in a bottle.
Cue Sting.
Although that's Randy Newman singing his Sting song.
Okay.
You got a friend in message.
But anyway, yeah.
Continue.
Well, so we recently coined this message in a bottle just to keep it in line with our theme. So shout out to Dracorius for that new label, that title.
Is this an alien? Is this a cyborg from another planet?
Well, Mattbrush, if I must explain.
Hey, that's at least a name. Brush.
Dracorius is one of my good friends, and
Okay.
listen to our.
Just saying, your friend might be an alien. You don't know.
He could be a Skrull.
Oh my god, what we need to do is have a podcast that takes place 10 years earlier where you got that friend, and that friend was a Skrull.
Cool. I'll get my clothes.
Your clothes?
Yeah, like my 90s clothes.
Oh yeah.
Just get ready and.
The audience at home, he made a weird face. It was very funny. Okay, message in a bottle. I can't stop hearing the song in my head. So we're going to go, this is our reader mail section with Anth0z and Mattbrush, and we're going to read off mail from the fans. So, Anth0z, why don't you take the first one?
Sure. So, the first question we have is, if you could live in any Disney movie, which one?
Which one?
Would you live in the movie?
I'm going to include all... Well, I mean, yeah, all Disney movies.
Disney.
So this, so never mind. It's in the question. Never mind. You go ahead.
If you could live in, so you're living in the movie. That's just like you can't get.
I think it's in the universe of it, right?
Oh,
live in any Disney movie. Like you might be a side character. You're not Captain America. You're not what's her face from Star Wars. You're just like
Chewbacca.
Sure.
Princess Leia.
I think you're Anth0z, but you're in that world, right? You grew up from a baby up to wherever you are now, in that universe.
Yeah. Wow, that's really tricky. Do you have one off the top of your head?
I was honestly thinking Pixar this whole time, and then I decided to broaden it up at last second there.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking the Marvel universe, the MCU. I know that's a very broad answer, and it's not very fun, but it's just that I do like that universe. It'd be cool. Although I wouldn't be a superhero. So if anything, my life would be the exact same as it is right now, except for there's exponentially more danger around me. So maybe not the best thing. So actually, let me tailor that.
Any
back.
moment now, you can turn to dust.
Exactly. Snap of a finger. I was gonna initially say something like Tangled, where it's more of a fantasy kind of realm. I like the idea. Well, there's a pirate tavern for one.
Oh yeah.
And they'll sing a song in there.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of like a fantastical, a fantasy world. It's very fantasy. Like I'd be able to be like a lumberjack somewhere, have a family, and we'd have like all speak in funny accents, and then like the main characters would come by for like a little bit, and I'd be like, "Hello, welcome to my family," and like I'd have a bunch of kids and like. Lumberjack cutting down trees, and it'd be like super fantasy on all 3D animation stuff. And like, and I'd like sing a song as I'm cutting trees. Maybe I've got like a pal that helps me, like a little talking rabbit or something that helps me cut trees. Yeah, that's the universe I want to live in.
That sounds really fun. I think it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but it comes across to me in my mind as very magical and so Fantasia is the movie I'm thinking about.
Oh man,
and
I love Fantasia.
Throwback, right?
The original, right?
Yeah, the original. Yeah, actually, I don't think I saw the remake of it.
What's that one with all the doom da doom da doom da dun 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 dun
The Nutcracker?
Is that Nutcracker? It's got all like the flowers. It's all these flowers and they're dancing. Yeah, it might be sugar.
That's Sugar Plum.
No, it's all these like it's like mushrooms. They're doing like the Russian dance and stuff.
Oh.
Isn't that the same song?
Is that an Alice in Wonderland?
No, it's Fantasia.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
There is Russian mushrooms dancing. I swear.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I thought it was that song. Like, wrong. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
stepping on your toes.
Ow. So yeah, Fantasia. I just thought, just thinking back to Mickey wearing a robe, commanding a bunch of broomsticks.
Are you talking about that one specific scene? You'd like to?
No, I mean just the idea of like there's magic everywhere, and It didn't seem like they were. What was
The brooms were scary, man. They were like trying to hit Mickey, you know, like they were angry.
Yeah,
they
but that's
they
because
had personality.
they didn't get off to a good start. They didn't realize like, oh, he's wearing the hat because he actually knows what he's doing.
This is a universe where there's a Joe Rogan broom and there's an Elon Musk broom and they're smoking pot, talking about the world and its problems.
The brooms are just on fire.
Those personality brooms would freak me out. Plus, that wizard's eyebrows would engulf you.
Yeah. And wasn't there like a giant devil in that movie too?
Oh, at the end of Fantasia? Yeah, he's kind of freaky. I can't remember what song that was. It's funny, we were talking about Vivaldi earlier.
Yeah.
And I like Vivaldi's music so far. I'm going through like...
So far.
The thing is, I recognize the music. I don't recognize the composer. I know there's Bach. I know that there's Beethoven. Yeah, Johann Sebastian Bach. I know there's Beethoven. I know there's Vivaldi.
Mozart, Chopin.
Yeah, Chopin. Thank you. I cannot tell you their songs, but when I hear the music, I go, "Oh, I know that song," or "I know that song," "Oh, I know that song." You know.
Yeah.
And then now I'm starting to put music to the name, and I'm looking at Vivaldi, going, "Yes, I like Vivaldi. I like this music. I like the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this work." But I can't tell you what the music of Fantasia was. That's the thing. So Fantasia's got a lot of that orchestrated symphony music, and especially the Devil one. It's got a good background score to it. But
I just remember being really epic.
It's really epic. It's got the cymbal crash.
Yeah. Oh, I think as a kid those scared me because it was like cymbal crash at the same time. Either there was lightning or like giant water splashes.
Well,
or something.
the Mickey one does it as well, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And he's actually commanding.
He's got the water.
I got a little bit scared, but at the same time, like now in retrospect, if I were my age now, being in that movie, I think I can handle it.
So, I picked Tangled, and you picked Fantasia.
Yeah.
Do you think those are the answers they were looking for? Those are very different, I think, than where I thought those were going. I didn't think I was gonna pick Tangled. It's just what I randomly picked. I just thought of like what's a beautiful place. And
I guess maybe
Tangled came to mind.
Yeah.
But Fantasia is so unique and obscure. That's a good answer.
Oh, thanks.
It's just it's very unexpected. But at the same time, I can't really picture a quality of life in Fantasia.
That's because we haven't been in it yet.
Exactly. That's the thing. I can't say much because I haven't been there. But the flowers, they did dance.
And Mickey survived.
There were Russian flowers.
I get to hang with Mickey.
And I believe there was like tulips that danced with the Russian flowers. I think they spun them around.
Yeah, probably.
But the Mickey part was pretty cool, and that hat was glowy and it looked really nice.
Yeah. I like that. The hat was really cool.
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Let's go on to the next one. I don't know what's Italian apparently. I also don't think that that's really Italian. It's just my Italian.
Fantasia. Yeah.
Let's get into our question we want to ask the audience just before we get to our closers here. We want to ask the audience a question. And our question was, which superhero, I believe it was
It's what character, whether fictional or non-fictional, would you like to see portrayed in a movie, like their own movie? And who would you like to play that character?
Said character.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good question. I like it.
Yeah.
I've got ideas in my head as well.
I got tons.
So that's our question for all y'all out there. Again, sorry, this is a little bit of a different episode. It's kind of tailored. But I think we said a lot of things that I wanted to make sure that we did say.
We just said a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of topics in there. And I wanted to make sure that we got those out. So I promise you, we will find a regular schedule eventually. But we're finding our voice. Each episode will be a little bit different until we average out at some kind of time.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the ending here.
Cool.
So everybody, give us your thoughts on the show, anything you'd like to see us do or change. Please, I'm open to any kind of opinions at all on it. I noticed last week we had a bit of an audio thing that I was trying to fix, so hopefully this episode we're getting a bit better on that. But we're learning as we go. Mm-hmm. So
true.
Let us know and help us grow. Didn't mean to rhyme, but it's profound.
Yeah. I was hoping you were going to rhyme again.
No. Let us know, help us grow. Don't you know?
No, I mean, you said, didn't mean to rhyme. Yeah. But that's the grime.
That's the grime. Okay. So where can the audience find you, Anth0z?
Well, I've actually upgraded since last week, since last episode. So now you can find me on Twitter. And unfortunately, my game name, my online name, was taken, I guess, by some random... I don't even know who they are, but...
The show is so popular already, people are just snatching those names. I gotta lock down Mattbrush everywhere I go.
It's so popular, they snatched it back in 2009. But anyway, you can find me at Anth0z1. So it's Anth0z1.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anth0z1.
Yeah, I don't know why that one has to be there.
0Z1. 77.3. 0Z1.
That's on Twitter?
That's on Twitter.
That's your Twitter.
Yeah.
That's your Twitter.
That's my Twitter.
Do you have any other platforms, or do you just do Twitter? You just Twitter
Right
guy? And
now
you
it's just
already confessed that you don't even look at Twitter, so.
And yeah, but I want to be able to look. I want to tweet more.
Okay. You can always contact us at the Scumm Bar Podcast at gmail.com. Yeah, and both of us will be looking at that. So if you contact us there, either of us will grab your comment, and also it'll probably be on the show.
Cool.
You can find me at Mattbrush Gaming. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter. You could email me, but I probably won't look at it. So yeah, that's the Twitter noise. Twitter is probably a good place to find my musings. YouTube is a good place to find my rants. I haven't actually made my rants yet, but I've got them in the tank. They're in the think tank, and they will be out there soon. So please go there. You can also see the podcast. We'll be putting on a video. We uploaded the last week's one onto YouTube, so we'll be uploading this week's onto the YouTube as well. So it's a good place for our artificial intelligence to be stored into a capacity of the internet's.
Which is already there, apparently.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And have yourself a fantastic little day.
Fantastic
little day.
Cool. Bye.
That's us.
Bye.
Oh, are you going?
Bye.
Are you leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.